Thanks to Massdrop, they've got a lot of cool gear, and they utilize the power of group buys to save you money. You can check them out at massdrop.com or click on the link in the description. Thanks to Corsair, they've got a lot of new stuff going on. Be sure to check out all of our booth coverage by clicking on the link in the description. Thanks to you guys, our Patreon members and our tech support members. We are trying to expand and hire new people, and we want to keep the integrity of our content. Thanks for giving. You guys are awesome. Special thanks to Honor for inviting us to their very ridiculous marketing event that was, well, quite ridiculous. But the reason we went was to see the new Honor X5. It's another Android phone, and I went there thinking, okay, we're going to look at another Android phone. Then I saw the price, and then I saw the features. So let me tell you guys what you get here for $200. Android 5.1, 16 gigabytes of internal memory, 2 gigabytes of RAM. The Qualcomm octa-core is nice and snappy. It's not designed for 3D games, but it can play regular games. 13 megapixel camera, 1080p screen. It's 5.5 inches, and it's made out of aircraft-grade aluminum. Gold, gray, and silver. Now that's all cool, but you also have dual SIM plus an SD card slot on this. Plus you get a fingerprint scanner to unlock your phone, and you can use different fingers to open different apps on your phone. So we have a pretty fully loaded phone here that's really sleek, and it's $200. We're going to do a full review on this, but I wanted to give you guys a quick peek on this because they did unveil it at CES. It is new to the market, and it is quite loaded. So again, that's the Honor X5. Watch for the review coming soon on our hardware channel. We're here with Input Club and the K-Type. These guys do all the custom keyboards for Massdrop. This is Andrew, and this is Jacob. So Andrew used to work at Massdrop, now he's doing this, and then Jacob has probably the largest collection of keyboards I've ever heard of, 500. Yeah. This is a little different, something special. This is the K-Type. Let's talk about it.
Fully programmable RGB keyboard. So it has the standard things for the Infinity keyboard, including basically infinite layers, infinite macros, all programmable hardware, no drivers whatsoever. So all this have animations. So also has a USB Type-C in the back here. I can plug it into either side, doesn't matter. Computer here, there we go. So it'll turn on.
And then also daisy chains.
It also daisy chains. So remember the Infinity Ergodox will also daisy chain on this, so you can plug as many as you want in there. Macros will affect all the keyboards, no drivers whatsoever.
Normally keyboards are kind of a bucket with a plate on top, and so we've kind of made this one upside down so that we can make it really clean and have no screws on the top, where we just cut the keyholes into a solid piece of aluminum because it's amazing and no one else does that.
Yeah, they totally machine this entire thing.
Yes.
Next up, I want to talk about these switches here. So what have we gone with for the switches?
So these are Greetech Browns. We're still not fully committed on switches because we love Cherry products and all the different flavors. The first Infinity keyboard actually shipped with Cherry, Gatoron, Kaiwa, Alps, all the flavors you can imagine. And so we're going to be exploring our switch options going forward, but brown, blue, and clear will definitely be covered.
Where's the LED?
So this is SMD mount LEDs, so they're actually underneath the switch, attached directly to the PCB, which allows us to have a lot more flexibility on what LEDs we can go with and make them really cool. It's technically 3 LEDs, because it's RGB, but yeah, there's just one single solder point for the 3 LEDs. But also our controller there's been a lot of hubbub about RGB keyboards and not actually being able to display the number of colors. So our controller is from ISSI, and essentially, it does all the colors, and essentially each key is a pixel. So we'll be able to program fancy things onto it, like putting Snake on the keyboard as it dances around.
It's like a true display, so you have like text, you can render text on it, you can do little animations. I'll even do some fancy things where when we make another keyboard, the same animation will then apply to that keyboard too. You can just say, I want the A key to do this part of it, and it'll just work on all those keyboards.
Now, so will the end user be able to maybe go in and program some of these things?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there'll be a web configurator, you program it, works same on Windows, Linux, Mac. It's Windows, we have to stick a little driver in there, but that's just Windows.
So now, are people going to be able to find this on Massdrop exclusively, or what's the plan there?
We're at CES to explore that, actually.
Yep. Cool. All right, well, very good. But for now, you guys can find these on Massdrop, and where else can they find out more information about you guys?
On our website, which is inputclub.com or input.club, and come check it out. We have a lot of other keyboards too, but this is our favorite and newest.
Guys, this is nice. Like, if you were here touching this, you'd be like, that's nice. So check them out. Escape, would you?
Oh, yeah. at Computex this year, we saw MSI's all-in-ones, and they have a lot of these. They come in a lot of different varieties. This is kind of their top-end one, so they've finalized the design on this. They've made the screen bigger. It's 27 inches diagonal now instead of the 24 inches they went with before. Ships with Windows 10. Got a Core i7-6700, so this is using all desktop components in the housing in the back there. It's not the K SKU, so you're not going to be able to do too much overclocking here. It's an H170 chipset motherboard. DDR4 2133 is the memory standard, and it comes in varieties of options, 4 slots, so up to 64 gigs total. Now what you might notice here at the back is this protrusion. And normally a protrusion is something that's not desirable, but when the protrusion houses a high quality MSI graphics card, don't call your doctor, call your friends and invite them over to play video games. I don't know what to do. Anyway, this is where the graphics card is. So they've separated it from the rest of the internals of the housing, which means that all your GPU heat is going to be not contaminating the rest of the stuff inside there. That's why they're able to fit so much high-end desktop hardware in such a fairly small form factor. So again, the model is 27XT6QE, which really rolls off the tongue, but hey, if you're into all-in-ones, MSI makes some nice ones.
It's time to check out the craziest thing at MSI's booth, and I'm talking about the Vortex. Check this out. This is a complete system in an extremely small case. Like, this is like really, really small. Let's talk about what's in here. First off, let's go ahead and get rid of the whole Apple trash can reference. To me, this looks more like a robot from Star Wars, but yes, it is similar to the Apple and in design and also in function. But it's geared for gaming, and also you can use it for professional productivity. Put it in any room of the house almost. So the CPU on this one, you got a 6700K. That is the K part. So it is, you know, you can overclock it. I'm not sure if I would. We have two 980s in here, and these are the full desktop 980s. Most of the pieces on the inside of here have been custom made specifically for this, so they're not shaped like a desktop 980, but it is a desktop 980 as far as specs and speed goes. Everything's passively cooled. There's lots of heat sinks everywhere. Well, I'd say they're not passively technically, but they're heat sinks on top of everything, and it's all cooled by one giant fan on the top that sucks all the hot air straight out of the top. So that's how that works. We see the lights on here right now. It's in the classic red from MSI, but this is a full RGB device, so you can change this up and make it any color that you like. So it's pretty insane. Also, we have two M.2s in here in RAID 0. We have a 2.5 millimeter hard drive. Power supply is built in, and it's 80 plus. So I believe it's 80 plus gold. So all that is built into this tiny computer. Now you can see the Dragon panel right here in the back. And also I want to note that we have plenty of connectivity options with HDMI and DisplayPort. Since we have two graphics cards in there, this thing can power up to 6 different monitors running at 4K. That is a bit absurd. I want to kind of push this thing for a little while and just see how much it heats up, see what we can do with it. Maybe test out a little bit of overclocking, take it apart. So just watch. We're going to have some crazy videos with this thing. Maybe even do some mods. I mean, the shape and size and just all the different components in there, they may actually be modder friendly. We may have to do some stuff to the case, but as far as the chassis on the inside goes. I also want to mention one last thing. This is a very thin piece of aluminum that's been treated. I thought it was plastic at first because it's so smooth, but it's been treated and kind of has a matte coating. They may go a little darker as far as the gray color goes, but yeah, that's aluminum right there that's been fitted specifically for this. So really cool. Can't wait to see what we can do when we get our hands on one of these Vortex units.
Look, guys, it's the Godlike, but oh my gosh, MSI took advice from a lot of people who gave feedback when the Godlike originally launched at Computex, because it had some red trim going on, and the Godlike, or one of the most standout features of it, just looking at it, is that it's got full RGB LED lighting. Although it's not very visible right here because it's underlit and all that stuff. But what we want to focus on is not the RGB lighting, but the fact that they did this kind of carbon fiber looking trim on everything instead of any red. So you got a really blacked out motherboard, black with some silver going on there. Looks really nice. They've got some extra cover plates here, providing some protection for stuff. A pretty nice looking heatsink there as well. Just looks really pretty. They've even gone to the length of putting some steel reinforcement on the DIMM slots up there at the top, which is in order to combat every gamer's worst nightmare of memory sag, which we've been encountering a lot lately with the extremely... No, I'm just kidding with all that. It's really just for the look. I asked them. These steel reinforced plates on the PCI slots, those are to help reinforce that and make sure that heavy graphics cards don't pull down on those as much. And that can help a bit with GPU sag. Everything else is pretty much the same as far as all the specs go. So good job, MSI, making a blacked out version of that. Continuing with the Pro Carbon series, they also have a Z170 version, so this is the Z170A Gaming Pro Carbon. So we're told the price point on this one is going to be about $159 MSRP, which is a very reasonable price for a very blinged out looking motherboard. Oftentimes when you get sub 200 or too far below sub 200, you know, you can start seeing stuff that looks a little bit more budgety, but this one's very clean looking overall. They've got some, you know, kind of cool looking designs there going over the traces. Generally speaking, all black and silver again. They also have that reinforced steel on the PCI slots. You've also got a USB Type-C connector there at the back that I know you guys can't see right now, but trust me, it's there. Actually, Logan's get a shot of it. Here's another option for you guys looking to build a Skylake system. This is the Z170A Crate Gaming 3X, and the Crate series has the black and white design from MSI, and they make some pretty looking motherboards in this series. Price point on this one's going to be $150 or $149.99, which is a very good price point. And again, looks really nice overall. If you're not into the blacked out aesthetic of the Carbon series, go for the Crate because these are very well built motherboards, and Logan knows some specs from it.
You can do 2 NVIDIA cards or 3 AMD cards.
Here's a motherboard that I just want to show you guys real quick, although we've been told this is not necessarily aimed at the US market.
But it is gold, actually.
It's all gold. This is a B150 series motherboard, and I've been seeing lots of B150 motherboards recently. I feel like Intel must be giving a bargain on that chipset or something. What you lose with B150 is the ability to overclock. You also lose some stuff like RAID support as well as some of the available connectivity through the chipset. But if you're on a budget, if you're not planning to overclock, B150 is actually a pretty suitable chipset, even though it's business oriented. But this one's all gold, or it's not really gold plated. It just looks gold. Do you guys like gold? Logan likes gold.
I like to swim in gold.
And this one, that one's already been out.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a unique piece of kit. This is a 4-way SLI bridge with an attached fan on it. 120 millimeter slim fan, actually. It's got some adjustments in the back so you can move that fan up or down to fit wherever, depending on what graphics cards you're using, of course. This one's currently set up to use MSI's. It's even got some adjustment, little knobs right there so you can adjust the fan up or down as well as side to side, up, down, side to side. There's all your SLI slots, and then it fits on like that. It's perfect. Look at all the different MSI graphics cards. Aren't they lovely? Aren't they beautiful? We've seen them all before. They're still nice. Okay, here's one that we've seen but haven't focused too much on. So this is a 980 Ti Seahawk. This is the one that MSI made in collaboration with Corsair. So you notice the Corsair logos going on there in the fan as well as down here on the pump. So Corsair provided the all-in-one cooler. MSI provided the PCB. NVIDIA provides the GPU. This is, of course, a 980 Ti. And these cards have proven to be really, really good overclockers. 20%. 20% is about what they're aiming. Over 20% overclock.
It's over 20%.
It's going to be over...
Out of the factory.
Oh, over 20% out of the factory. Logan has just informed me. That's pretty nice. And then you could probably even push it beyond that. Also, it's got a blower fan here, so it's going to provide some extra cooling for your internals, your VRMs, all that good stuff down there. Nice little window there so you can see through. And MSI, it's got a little bit of MSI blinginess on there. See, I'm going to... Wait, I can probably hold this. Or I'm going to do this. Look at that.
Got it by the ears.
This is also the proper way to hold an all-in-one water cooling loop, just in case you're wondering. Oh, it is tethered. It is tethered. I'm trying to... Anyway, there's a look at the back plate, too. Black and yellow design overall. Kind of keeping with the MSI's Lightning series a little bit. But a nice 980 Ti, and if you want to overclock a 980 Ti, then you don't want to do a custom water cooling loop, then these cards are fantastic for that. Good lord, look at all these beautiful case mods. Origin PC built this one. It's gorgeous. Is that black? It's like black fluid that they have in there, which you don't see too often. I'm kind of curious about that, actually.
Yeah, unless you're a coal miner.
Well,
and you cough up some.
Well, then you got the black lung, and you should probably transfer that into your PC mod because it's excellent for cooling. Here's another one. This is from Exotic PC. It's a Z170 Gaming M7 motherboard there at the heart of it. Look, they're using it's not a monoblock. What is it? A multi-block?
Yeah.
I should know what that's called. It's the block that covers not just the CPU but also all the VRMs, which is fabulous for higher-end overclocking, keeping your VRMs cool. Big old fat rads on this one. There's a big fat rad, 240 in the front, and a much skinnier 360 there. Just beautifully done though. I like the lighting looks nice, even with the RGB going here. And I'll be honest, because I've complained about RGB LEDs when you got other colors. Even with the RGB and the red though, I feel like that kind of works out. I mean, we're in Vegas, so I guess I've seen a lot of neon lights and that kind of thing. You get used to it. Here's another one. This is from ABS. Always better service. This is an in-wing case. This is using the MSI Gaming M7 Z170 board as well. Red fluid in there. Nice little build. Looks pretty. Here's another one from CyberPower. This one is not custom water cooled, but it shows you what you can do and do prettily. Is that a word, prettily? To make it aesthetically pleasing.
Lazy. They got lazy.
Or if you're lazy and you want to use all-in-one coolers. So Corsair, since they've put this nice sleeving on all their coolers, especially on the MSI Seahawk, which you got 2 of in there with the rads up in the front. And I like to see that there's enough length for those cables to fit those radiators up in the front intake, but not too much. Like that's the perfect amount right there. There's of course a little bit more on that CPU cooler, but you also got the Corsair. I believe that's what is it, H100i V2 maybe? H100i GTX. I'm sorry.
From a certain angle, this looks like a spider crawling out.
Oh, it does. It's very spider-like.
Yeah, look at that.
Sexy though. Here's one from Digital Storm. I met some of their reps at CES. They're very nice guys. Anyway, this one's of course black and red. That's kind of the theme with a lot of these. It's gorgeous. Are these quick disconnects? These might be quick disconnects there, but I'm not positive. Coolants. It's probably not the best idea. This is a cool. They have a mix of stuff here. This looks like there's an EK blocks going on up here, and you got some Coolants gear in there. And this looks like a SwiftTech block down there in the bottom, but I could be wrong about that. That might be a special-made Digital Storm one. Apologize for my lack of knowledge there. But anyway, nice cable extensions and a Corsair power supply down at the bottom. Nice little build.
I'm pretty sure that this thing's been painted with household paint. That feels like a mother of pearl from Black & Decker or some company like that. Williams, whatever that company is.
Williams Sonoma.
Is that it? It's nice household paint.
They either make paint or wine. It's hard to tell. So this is
I couldn't tell the difference when I drank it either.
This is a specially designed case. This is iBuyPower's new case, which I lost track of the name of. The Revolt 2. So the Revolt's...
It is revolting.
Yes, the Revolt was smaller than this. This one's a little bit larger, but it's blingier because you got the lid you can lift up. I guess you got.
It's revolting. Come on.
I don't.
I'm trying to be nice to him. But look at this thing.
It is
household paint.
We're helping them with branding right now. Look at this revolting case.
I'm being stupid. It's not up to me what you guys think.
Isn't it revolutionary? Okay. This is a SSD dock up front, so if you got a really high-end SSD, you can pop it right there. That is all right. So this isn't using a ribbon cable, but the motherboard's actually on this side, vertical. So you can position your graphics card up the top there and get a nice look at it, which is cool because often this is a side of the graphics card that you don't get a good look at, but they make it pretty. So anyway, iBuyPower Revolt 2 system. And lastly, we have this sort of bittersweet entry from Main Gear. This had some unfortunate issues with shipping, which is that there was it froze. It had liquid inside. They shipped it with the liquid, and it froze and bursted some of the seals. And I guess they lost the power supply as a result of that when they tried to fire up because they weren't able to see the leaks, which is very sad. But we wanted to at least give you guys a look at it because Main Gear obviously put a ton of work into this. You've got straights, I believe probably PETG or acrylic tubing, using a ton of bits power fittings right there. EK blocks. You got some custom chromed out Main Gear top plates on those got to be 980 Ti's. Yes, those are MSI 980 Ti's. As well as again, big fatty rad in the fronts. That's a 280, and then you got a 360 there at the back. And man, that's a pretty system. Just such a shame. I know a lot of modders, and there's a backlit LED on the horizontal res right there. So I know a lot of modders, and shipping a case after you've invested several hundred hours into it or a full system is excruciating, which is why a lot of them drive them across the country. So anyway, sorry Main Gear, but very nice system.
I knew MSI worked for the Empire. Have you seen this thing? This thing is ridiculous. Okay, so this is a Venator-class Star Destroyer from the new movie. They flew it here from the Netherlands. Okay, so they flew it here from the Netherlands, and it's probably going to stay here, or it's going to get shipped out to somebody else. Because this is on eBay. You can buy this. It's actually got a really nice system on the inside, too. Let me go ahead and pop the top off here, and all these fiber optic lines and glows everywhere. All right, so you check out the inside. We've got MSI motherboard. We got an MSI graphics card. It's all water cooled. The cooling lines are not here because they had to ship it from the Netherlands, and that coming through customs was a little bit of a pain in the butt. But that'll all be, helpful when you get it. All right, on the inside, we've got a Core i5 6600K. It's got the MSI B150M. It's got an MSI 780 Ti Lightning graphics card. It's got the Avexer Blix DDR4 white memory, Intel 750 SSD. This thing is ridiculous. The entire bottom of this is one big chunk of aluminum that is designed to hold all the weight. It's got 6 fans here because the radiator runs all the way down the front. So all the water cooling radiation comes out right here. Just creates all this heat so they can fly through a sun or destroy it. It's actually a complete scratch. Everything on top, including all of these pieces here, the fiber optic holes, all of this. This is all 3D printed. This is very, very thin. It's just a skin that goes on top. It's all of it. You could replicate this and print it yourself if you had all the designs.
And 400 hours.
And 400 some odd hours of both printing and construction work.
The reservoirs.
All right, so the power supply sits right back here where the engine compartment is, and then you've got the thrusters. These are all your reservoirs for your water cooling. Hey, if you guys want to check this out on eBay, you can look up Yazi. That's Y-A-Z-I, or Z for all you British folk. And you can buy the starting bid on this thing was like $2,500, which in all reality is a steal when you consider what's inside this and how much actual material here. Shipping is going to be kind of a pain in the butt, but it's good. It's nice. It is impressive, and the top comes off. I mean, what more do you want? TIE fighters flying out of the compartment here? It's going to win.